The Atlanta skyline glittered through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Brielle Carter's cramped loft, a constellation of ambition casting light on her laptop screen. It was 2:37 a.m., and the glow of her code editor illuminated her face, dark skin radiant despite the exhaustion etched into her features. Lines of Python danced under her fingers, each keystroke a step closer to perfecting the algorithm for their startup, ConnectSphere. The app was her brainchild, a platform to link Black entrepreneurs with mentors and investors, but it was Dante Coleman's charm that was supposed to sell it. Brielle leaned back in her chair, rubbing her eyes. The loft smelled of coffee and ambition, with empty mugs scattered like artifacts of her sleepless nights. Her phone buzzed, and Dante's name flashed across the screen. She answered, her voice soft but firm. "You're up late." "Couldn't sleep without checking on my genius," Dante's voice purred through the speaker, smooth as the jazz playing faintly in the background. "How's the code coming?" "Almost there," she said, glancing at the screen. "The matching algorithm's tighter now. It'll pair users with mentors based on industry, goals, and personality. Investors are gonna eat this up." "That's my girl," he said, and she could hear the grin in his voice. "We're about to take this city by storm, Bree. You and me, building an empire." Her heart warmed at the words, though a flicker of doubt tugged at her. Dante had been saying, "you and me," since they met at a Georgia Tech hackathon 2 years ago, but lately, his focus seemed more on the spotlight than the code. Still, she pushed the thought aside. "You ready for the pitch tomorrow?" she asked. "Born ready," he said. "Got the slides memorized, suit pressed, charm on lock. You keep the tech tight, and I'll handle the suits at the investor dinner." Brielle hesitated. "You sure I shouldn't come? I could explain the tech." "Nah, Bree," he cut in, his tone light but final. "You're the brain. I'm the face. Let me work the room. You just get bored with all the schmoozing." She bit her lip, the doubt creeping back. "Okay," she said quietly. "Just, don't forget to mention me, all right? This is our dream." "Never," he promised. "You're the heart of this, Brielle Carter. We're in this together." She hung up, staring at the code. His words echoed, "together." She clung to them, pouring her trust into the lines of code that would make their dream real. By 4 a.m., she debugged the final module, saved the file, and sent it to Dante with a note, ready to change the game. "Love you." Then she collapsed onto her couch, dreaming of a future where ConnectSphere wasn't just an app but a movement. The next evening, Brielle sat alone in her loft, the hum of the city outside a stark contrast to the silence within. She'd spent the day tweaking the app's UI, her fingers itching to be at the investor dinner where Dante was pitching. But he'd been adamant. "Stay home, Bree. You're too valuable to waste on small talk." So she stayed, refreshing her phone for updates, her stomach knotted with anticipation. She wore a simple gray hoodie and leggings, her braids pulled into a messy bun. The loft was a mix of chaos and creativity. Books on coding stacked beside incense burners, a vision board pinned with photos of black tech pioneers like Kimberly Bryant and Tristan Walker. Her phone buzzed, and she lunged for it, expecting Dante's post-pitch victory text. Instead, it was Maya Brooks, her best friend and the startup's unofficial hype woman. "Girl, you seeing this?" Maya's text read, followed by a link to an Instagram Live. Brielle clicked, her heart racing. The video showed a sleek downtown restaurant, chandeliers casting a golden glow over tables of suited investors. Dante stood at the center, all charisma in a tailored navy blazer, his smile dazzling as he gestured to a projector screen displaying ConnectSphere's logo. The caption read, "Dante Coleman pitching the future of Black entrepreneurship. #ConnectSphere #Atlanta Tech." Brielle's chest swelled with pride, but it tightened as she listened. Dante's voice carried through the video, smooth and confident. "ConnectSphere is my vision to revolutionize how Black entrepreneurs connect with opportunities. I built this platform from the ground up to empower our community." "My vision, I built." The words hit like a slap. Brielle leaned closer, her breath shallow, waiting for him to mention her. He didn't. Not her name, not her code, not the nights she'd spent perfecting the algorithm. The video cut to him shaking hands, investors clapping, and Kendra Ray, Dante's new friend, an influencer with a penchant for designer bags, posing beside him, her smile all teeth. Brielle's phone slipped from her hand. She stared at the screen, now dark, her reflection staring back. The loft felt smaller, the air heavier. She texted Dante, "Just saw the pitch. Why didn't you mention me?" No response. She called, but it went to voicemail. "Dante, call me back," she said, her voice trembling. "We need to talk." She paced, the vision board mocking her. Maya called, and Brielle answered, her voice barely a whisper. "He didn't say my name, Maya." Maya's voice was fire. "I saw, and I'm pissed. That man's out here acting like he coded the damn app. You need to get down there, Bri." "He told me to stay home," Brielle said, her throat tight. "Said I'd be bored." "Bored?" Maya snapped. "Girl, you are ConnectSphere. You built that algorithm from scratch. He's just the shiny packaging. Get your ass to that dinner and set it straight." Brielle shook her head, though Maya couldn't see. I can't. Not tonight. I need to hear it from him." Maya sighed. "Fine, but you better confront his slick ass tomorrow. Don't let him play you." Brielle hung up, her eyes burning. She refreshed her phone again, hoping for a text, an apology, anything. Nothing came. She fell asleep on the couch, the city's pulse outside echoing her own. Fast, unsteady, betrayed. Brielle woke to sunlight stabbing through the loft's windows, her neck stiff from the couch. Her phone lay beside her, still silent from Dante. She checked it, her heart sinking, no texts, no calls. But a notification from TechCrunch caught her eye. Dante Coleman launches solo startup to empower black entrepreneurs. She clicked, her pulse racing. The article was a glowing profile of Dante, complete with a photo of him at the dinner, grinning beside Kendra. The piece detailed ConnectSphere's mission, its innovative algorithm, and Dante's singular vision. Brielle's name was nowhere. Not a mention, not a footnote. The article quoted Dante, "I saw a gap in the market and built ConnectSphere to fill it. This is my legacy." Her hands shook as she scrolled. My legacy. The words burned. She'd poured her soul into that code, her dreams into that app, and he'd erased her. She called Dante again, straight to voicemail. "Dante, what the hell?" she said, her voice cracking. "You told the world it's your app? Call me. Now." She opened X, searching for #ConnectSphere. Posts flooded her feed. Congratulations to Dante, praise for his genius. Kendra selfies with captions like, "Proud of my king." #ConnectSphere, #power couple. Brielle's stomach churned. She typed a tweet, "The truth about ConnectSphere will come out. Stay tuned." Then she deleted it, her finger hovering over the button. Not yet. She needed to face him first. Maya texted, "You see that article? I'm coming over." 30 minutes later, Maya burst into the loft, her braids swinging, her eyes blazing. "Bri, this is some snake shit," she said, tossing her bag onto the couch. "He's out here stealing your shine, and you're sitting here like it's fine?" "It's not fine," Brielle snapped, her voice raw. I'm processing, okay? I trusted him, Maya. He said we were a team." Maya softened, sitting beside her. "I know, babe. But trust is earned, and he just cashed out on yours. You gotta confront him. Today." Brielle nodded, her jaw tight. "I'm going to his place. He can't dodge me forever." Maya grinned. "That's my girl. Want me to come? I'll bring the brass knuckles." Brielle laughed despite herself, the sound brittle. "I got this. But stay on standby." She showered, dressed in jeans and a crisp white blouse, and headed to Dante's condo downtown. The city buzzed around her, but she felt detached, like she was moving through someone else's life. She rehearsed her words, each one sharp, ready to cut through his lies. Dante's condo was all glass and steel, a monument to his ego in Midtown. Brielle buzzed the intercom, her heart pounding. No answer. She buzzed again, then texted, "I'm outside. We need to talk." Finally, the door clicked open, and she rode the elevator to the 15th floor, her reflection in the mirrored walls showing a woman on the edge. Dante opened the door, still in last night's blazer, his eyes bloodshot but his smile practiced. "Brielle," he said, stepping aside. "Didn't expect you." "Clearly," she said, walking in. The condo smelled of cologne and Kendra's perfume, a pink purse on the counter confirming her presence. Brielle's eyes narrowed. "You didn't answer my calls. Or my texts. But you had time to tell TechCrunch you built ConnectSphere alone." Dante sighed, running a hand over his fade. "Brie, it's not like that. Come on, sit down." "I'm good standing," she said, crossing her arms. "Explain." He paced, his blazer creasing. "Look, the investors last night, they're old school. They want a face, a story. I had to simplify things. Saying it's my vision, my app. It's just branding. You're still the tech lead." "Tech lead?" she echoed, her voice rising. "Dante, I created ConnectSphere. The algorithm, the UI, the database, that's my code. You promised we were partners. And we are," he said, hands raised. "But let's be real, Brie. You're not the type to work a room. You're, behind the scenes. Investors don't vibe with that. They want someone with poise, image." Her breath caught. "Poise? Image? What are you saying?" He hesitated, then shrugged. "I'm saying you're brilliant, but you're not the face of this." "I am. And Kendra, she's got the look, the following. She's helping me sell it." Brielle laughed, sharp and hollow. "So I'm not pretty enough? Not flashy enough? Is that it?" "That's not what I meant," he said, but his eyes darted away. "It's business, Brie. You're the brains, I'm the hustle. That's how we win." She stepped closer, her voice low. "No, Dante. That's how you win. You took my work, my dream, and slapped your name on it. You didn't even mention me last night." He groaned. "You're blowing this out of proportion. You'll get credit, okay? Once we're funded." "Stop," she cut in, tears stinging but unshed. "You lied to me. To the world. And you're standing here like it's nothing." The bedroom door opened, and Kendra sauntered out, her silk robe barely tied, her hair a perfect mess. "Everything okay, babe?" she asked Dante, ignoring Brielle. Brielle's fists clenched. "Babe," she said, looking at Dante. "How long, Dante?" He froze, caught. Kendra smirked, leaning against the counter. "Oh, honey, don't make a scene. You didn't really think you were the main act, did you?" Brielle ignored her, locking eyes with Dante. "Tell me the truth. For once." He sighed, defeated. "A few months. But Brie, it's not about her. It's about the business." "Enough," Brielle said, her voice steel. "You're a thief and a liar. Enjoy your legacy." She turned to leave, but Kendra's voice followed. "Girl, you need to chill. This is how the game's played." Brielle paused at the door, looking back. "Keep playing, Kendra. But I'm done with this game." She walked out, the elevator's descent mirroring her heart's fall. The city blurred through her tears, but a spark of fire grew within her. Dante thought he'd won. He was wrong. Back in her loft, Brielle moved like a storm. She packed a duffel bag, clothes, laptop, a photo of her parents, her hand steady despite the chaos in her chest. Maya arrived, her face a mix of fury and worry. "You okay?" she asked, pulling Brielle into a hug. "No," Brielle admitted, her voice muffled. "But I will be." Maya pulled back, eyeing the bag. "Where you going?" "Somewhere I can think," Brielle said. "I need to get out of Atlanta. Away from him, from this." Maya nodded, understanding. "You know I got your back." But don't ghost me, okay? You're not alone in this. Brielle managed a small smile. I won't. I need to disappear for a while. She opened her laptop, her fingers flying. First, she deleted her social media, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, erasing every trace of Brielle Carter online. Then she emailed her landlord, giving notice. She called Uncle Roy, her voice breaking as she said, I need to come home. Doors always open, baby girl, he said, his voice warm and steady. You come when you're ready. By midnight, Brielle was gone. Her loft stood empty, the vision board left behind, its dreams torn from the wall. Her phone, now off, held no trace of her plans. To Atlanta, to Dante, to the world, Brielle Carter had vanished. But in the silence of her departure, a new plan was forming. She wasn't running. She was rebuilding. And when she returned, Dante would learn what it meant to cross her. The Oakland air was crisp, scented with eucalyptus and possibility, as Brielle Carter stepped off the BART train at Rockridge Station. Her duffel bag hung heavy on her shoulder, stuffed with the fragments of her old life, laptop, clothes, and a single photo of her parents. The Atlanta skyline was a fading memory, replaced by the vibrant, eclectic pulse of the Bay Area. She hadn't told anyone but Maya where she was going, and even Maya didn't know the full plan. Brielle was a ghost now, and she intended to stay that way until she was ready to haunt. Uncle Roy's black SUV waited at the curb, its tinted windows reflecting the late afternoon sun. The driver's door opened, and Roy stepped out, tall, graying at the temples, his face weathered but kind, like a man who'd seen the world's cruelty and chosen to build anyway. He wore a simple flannel and jeans, no hint of the billionaire tech mogul he was. Roy had made his fortune in the early dot-com days, then retreated to a quiet life of philanthropy, mentoring young black coders like Brielle. Baby girl, he said, his voice a low rumble as he pulled her into a hug. You look like you've been through it. Brielle managed a weak smile, her braids swaying as she leaned into him. That's one way to put it. He took her bag, tossing it into the trunk. Come on. Let's get you settled. The drive to Roy's hillside home was quiet at first, the SUV winding through streets lined with murals and Victorian houses. Brielle stared out the window, her mind replaying Dante's betrayal, the TechCrunch article, his smug dismissal, Kendra's smirk. She clenched her fists, then released them. Anger wouldn't rebuild her. She needed strategy. Roy glanced at her. Wanna talk about it? She hesitated, then shook her head. Not yet. Just need a reset. He nodded, his eyes on the road. Fair enough. But you know my rule. No hiding forever. You got fire in you, Brielle. Don't let that fool in Atlanta snuff it out. She looked at him, his words sparking something deep. I won't, she said softly. I just need time. Roy's house was a modern marvel tucked into the Oakland hills, glass walls, solar panels, and a garden bursting with native plants. Inside, it was warm, with hardwood floors, African art, and shelves of tech books. Brielle's room overlooked the bay, San Francisco's skyline a distant promise across the water. She dropped her bag, collapsing onto the bed, the weight of the past week crashing over her. That night, over a dinner of Roy's famous gumbo, they talked, not about Dante, but about her childhood, her parents, the summer she'd spent with Roy learning to code on his ancient Dell. You were always a problem solver, Roy said, ladling more gumbo into her bowl. Even at 10, you'd rewrite my scripts to run faster. Brielle laughed, the sound foreign after days of silence. I was a nerd. You were a force, he corrected, his eyes serious. Still are. Whatever happened in Atlanta, it's not the end. It's the start. She stirred her gumbo, the steam curling upward. I don't know what's next, Uncle Roy. But I'm not going back to who I was. He leaned back, studying her. Good. Build something new. And when you're ready, I'm here. No questions, no limits. The words lingered, a seed planted. Brielle went to bed that night not with a plan, but with a spark. Oakland would be her forge, and she'd emerge sharper than ever. 2 weeks later, Brielle found her rhythm in Oakland. She'd claimed a corner of Roy's home office, her laptop open on a desk cluttered with post-its and empty coffee mugs. The Bay Area's tech scene buzzed around her, but she stayed under the radar, freelancing under the alias Code Phantom. No profile picture, no LinkedIn, just a GitHub repo and an encrypted email. Her first gig came through a friend of Roy's, a startup needing a recommendation engine. She delivered clean, elegant code in half the time, earning $5,000 and a glowing review. Mornings were for coffee and code at a cafe called the Bean Counter, a cozy spot in Temescal with mismatched chairs and a playlist heavy on Solange and Thundercat. Brielle sat by the window, her hoodie up, earbuds in, her fingers flying over the keyboard. The cafe's owner, Jamal, a wiry man with a penchant for bad puns, took a liking to her. "You're like a coding ninja," he said one morning, sliding a free latte her way. "What's your deal, mystery woman?" She smirked, closing her laptop. "Just passing through. Needed a change of scenery." Jamal leaned on the counter, wiping his hands on his apron. "Aha. I know a hustler when I see one. You building something big, aren't you?" Brielle sipped her latte, her eyes glinting. "Maybe. You'll have to wait for the reveal." He laughed. "All right, keep your secrets. But when you're famous, I'm claiming bragging rights." Back at Roy's, she dove into her next gig, a blockchain project for a fintech startup. The work was demanding, but it was also her therapy. Each line of code was a brick in the wall she was building around her heart, each paycheck a step toward independence. She texted Maya daily, keeping her updated but vague, coding my ass off. Feeling alive. One evening, Roy knocked on the office door, holding 2 beers. "Break time," he said, handing her one. They sat on the deck, the bay sparkling below. "You're working like you're on a mission," he said. "What's the end game?" Brielle took a long sip, the cold beer grounding her. "I don't know yet. But I'm done being invisible. I want to build something that matters, something mine." Roy nodded, his eyes on the horizon. "You've got the talent. And if you need capital, you know I've got you." She looked at him, the weight of his offer settling in. "You'd really invest in me? No pitch, no strings." "Your family," he said simply. "And I believe in you. Say the word, and we'll make it happen." She didn't answer, but the idea took root. That night, she sketched out concepts in a notebook, an app for community upliftment, something to empower Black creators, coders, dreamers. The name came to her at 3 a.m., SoulSphere. She smiled, her first real smile in weeks. By month 2 in Oakland, Brielle was a phantom in the tech world. Code Phantom's reputation grew. Startups whispered about the mysterious coder who delivered flawless work overnight. She'd banked $20,000, enough to breathe easy, but her mind was on bigger things. SoulSphere was no longer a sketch, it was a vision. An app to connect Black communities with resources, mentors, grants, co-working spaces, built on her signature algorithm, now sharper than ever. She sat across from Roy at his kitchen island, her laptop open to a wireframe of SoulSphere's interface. "This is it," she said, her voice steady. "It's not just an app. It's a movement. I want to launch it under a new identity, keep it separate from everything." Roy studied the screen, his brow furrowed. "This is bold, Brie. You're talking about reshaping how communities access opportunity. But why the alias? You afraid of that boy finding out?" She stiffened, then relaxed. "It's not about fear. It's about control. Dante took my work once. I'm making sure no one ever does again." Roy leaned back, sipping his coffee. "Smart. But building this ain't cheap. You got a number in mind?" She hesitated, then slid a notepad across the island. $500, 000 to start. Development, marketing, a small team. I can bootstrap the rest. He whistled, then grinned. "You don't play small, do you?" "Never did," she said, her eyes fierce. "You in?" Roy set down his mug, his face serious. "I'm in. No questions, like I said. But I've got one condition. You run this like a queen, not a shadow. Build it, own it, shine. Brielle's throat tightened. Deal. They shook hands, a pact sealed over coffee and ambition. That night, she registered a new LLC, Elara Black Ventures. Elara, after the moon of Jupiter, hidden, powerful, orbiting in silence. She dyed her braid silver, bought a tailored blazer, and practiced her new persona in the mirror. Elara Black, tech investor, CEO, Enigma. Brielle Carter was gone. Elara was rising. Elara Black debuted quietly. Her first move a $50,000 investment in a black-owned AI startup in San Francisco. The deal was anonymous, signed through encrypted channels, but it sent ripples through the Bay Area's tech scene. Who was Elara Black? No one knew, and Brielle liked it that way. She worked from Roy's office, her days split between coding ConnectSphere and building Elara's mystique. She hired a virtual assistant, a sharp coder named Tasha, who handled Elara's emails and calls without ever meeting her. "You're like a superhero," Tasha said over a Zoom call, her voice tinged with awe. "No face, no trace, just results." Brielle laughed, her silver braids catching the light. "Let's keep it that way. I need the world curious, not nosy." Tasha grinned. "Got it, boss. What's next?" "Scout more startups," Brielle said. "Focus on black and brown founders, early stage, big ideas. And keep ConnectSphere's dev team on track. We launch in 6 months." She hung up, turning to her laptop. ConnectSphere's beta was nearly ready, its algorithm now a masterpiece of machine learning and empathy. She tested it, watching it match a hypothetical user, a young black designer, with a mentor, a grant, and a co-working space in under a second. Her chest swelled with pride. This was her legacy, not Dante's. Roy knocked, leaning in the doorway. "Heard you're making waves as Elara Black. You sure you're ready for this double life?" Brielle spun in her chair, her blazer sharp. "I was born ready. Elara's not just a mask, she's who I'm becoming." He chuckled. "All right, Ms. Black. Just don't forget who's under there." She winked. "Never." The text from Maya came at midnight. "I'm in Oakland. Where you at?" Brielle grinned, her heart lifting. She hadn't seen Maya since Atlanta, and the thought of her best friend's fire in her corner was exactly what she needed. She sent Roy's address, and an hour later, Maya was at the door, her braids in a high bun, her suitcase bursting. "Girl, you look like a boss already," Maya said, pulling Brielle into a hug. "What's this Elara Black nonsense I'm hearing about?" Brielle laughed, leading her to the deck. The bay sparkled below, and they sat with glasses of wine, the night air cool. "Elara's my armor," Brielle said. "I'm building something big, Maya. ConnectSphere. And I want you in." Maya's eyes lit up. "Spill. What's the vibe?" Brielle opened her laptop, showing the beta. "It's ConnectSphere, but better. Community-driven, black-focused, no snakes allowed. I'm launching it as Elara Black, and I need a partner who can sell it. Marketing, branding, the works." Maya leaned forward, scrolling through the app. "This is fire, Brie. You coded this in 2 months? Damn, you're a beast." "Had to be," Brielle said, her voice soft. "Dante took my dream. I'm taking it back, bigger." Maya set down her glass, her face serious. "I'm in. But we're not just launching an app. We're starting a revolution. You cool with that?" Brielle clinked her glass against Maya's. "More than cool. Let's burn it down and build it better." They stayed up until dawn, plotting. Maya sketched branding ideas, bold colors, a logo like a rising sun. Brielle coded, her fingers flying. By sunrise, ConnectSphere had a face, a voice, and a mission. Elara Black was no longer a shadow. She was a storm, and Maya was her lightning. 6 months into her Oakland reinvention, Brielle Carter, now Elara Black, had become a whispered legend in the tech world. As the silent force behind Elara Black Ventures, she'd funneled $1.5 million into 3 black-owned startups: a VR education platform, a health tech app for underserved communities, and a green energy co-op. Each deal was signed anonymously, her identity cloaked in encrypted emails and NDAs. The Bay Area buzzed with speculation about Elara Black, the mysterious investor who seemed to know every startup's potential before they did. Brielle thrived in the shadows, her silver braids and tailored blazers a stark contrast to the hoodie-clad coder she'd been in Atlanta. She worked from Uncle Roy's Oakland office, a sleek space with a view of the bay, her desk a fortress of monitors and coffee mugs. ConnectSphere, her own app, was in its final beta, its algorithm now a marvel that could match black entrepreneurs with resources in milliseconds. She tested it daily, her heart swelling as it connected a hypothetical user, a young black chef, with a grant, a mentor, and a pop-up space. This was her redemption, her legacy. One morning, she sat with Tasha, her virtual assistant, on a Zoom call. Tasha's face glowed with excitement. "Elara, you're trending on X," she said, sharing her screen. Posts speculated about Elara Black's identity. Is Elara Black a collective? A billionaire's alias? Whoever they are, they're changing the game. #BlackTech. Brielle smirked, adjusting her blazer. "Good. Let them talk. Keeps the focus off me." Tasha laughed. "You're like a tech Batman. What's next?" "Expand the portfolio," Brielle said. "Find me 2 more startups, early stage, black or brown founders, big ideas. And push ConnectSphere's beta testers to 500. We launch in 3 months." "On it, boss," Tasha said, then hesitated. "You ever gonna show your face? The world's dying to meet Elara Black." Brielle's eyes flickered to the photo of her parents on her desk, their smiles a reminder of her roots. "Not yet," she said. "Elara's a mask, but she's working. When the time's right, I'll step into the light." After the call, Roy knocked, leaning in the doorway with a mug of tea. "You're playing a dangerous game, baby girl," he said, his voice warm but serious. "This Elara Black thing, it's brilliant, but secrets have a way of catching up." Brielle spun in her chair, her silver braids catching the light. "I'm not hiding forever, Uncle Roy. Just long enough to build something unbreakable. Dante thought he could erase me. I'm making sure the world knows my name, on my terms." Roy nodded, a proud glint in his eye. "That's my girl. Just don't lose yourself in the game." She smiled, but her mind was already racing. Elara Black wasn't just an alias, she was a weapon, and Brielle was sharpening her for war. Across the country, Dante Coleman's world was crumbling. ConnectSphere, the app he'd stolen from Brielle, was bleeding users. The algorithm, her algorithm, wasn't scaling without her touch, and the tech press was starting to notice. A TechCrunch headline read, "ConnectSphere's hype fades as bugs pile up." Dante's condo, once a symbol of his rise, now felt like a cage, its glass walls reflecting his growing panic. He sat on his leather couch, scrolling X, his navy blazer wrinkled from a sleepless night. Kendra Ray lounged beside him, her phone in hand, filming a selfie video for her 200,000 followers. "Hey fam," she cooed, pouting at the camera. "Big things coming with ConnectSphere. Stay tuned for the glow up. #power couple." Dante snapped, snatching her phone. "Stop it, Kendra. This isn't a game. We're tanking." She rolled her eyes, snatching it back. "Chill, babe. You're too stressed. Post a cute pic, charm the investors, and we're back on top." "It's not that simple," he growled, rubbing his temples. "The app's crashing, users are bailing, and our last investor pulled out. We need a bailout, or we're done." Kendra crossed her arms, her gold bangles clinking. "Then get one. You're Dante Coleman, the face of black tech. Work your magic." He laughed bitterly. "Magic? I'm out of tricks. The only thing keeping us afloat was Brielle's code, and He trailed off, guilt flickering in his eyes. Kendra's lips curled. "Oh, please. Don't go soft on me now. You did what you had to. Brielle was holding you back. She's gone, so move on." Dante stared at his laptop, a new email catching his eye. It was from a contact at a tech conference, forwarded with a subject line, Elara Black Ventures, New Investor Opportunity. The email described Elara Black as a rising star in tech investing, known for saving struggling startups with deep pockets and deeper insight. Dante's pulse quickened. This could be it, he muttered. Kendra leaned over, scanning the email. Elara Black? Sounds like some rich old white dude. You gonna pitch him? Her, Dante corrected, rereading the email. They don't say much, but she's funding black startups. If I can get in a room with her, I can sell ConnectSphere. Kendra smirked. Then do it. Charm her pants off, babe. We need this. Dante nodded, his confidence flickering back. He didn't know Elara Black, but he knew how to work a room. He typed a reply, his fingers steady, interested in discussing ConnectSphere's potential. Let's meet. He hit send, unaware he was stepping into a trap. The Atlanta Tech Gala was a glittering affair, held in a downtown ballroom draped in gold and black. Chandeliers cast a warm glow over tables of investors, founders, and influencers, all buzzing about the future of Southern tech. Brielle, as Elara Black, stepped into the room like a queen in exile. Her silver braids were swept into an elegant updo, her black gown hugging her curves, its slit revealing a hint of leg. Oversized sunglasses and a subtle mask, part costume, part shield, completed the look. No one recognized her, and that was the point. She moved through the crowd, a flute of champagne in hand, her eyes scanning for Dante. Maya, her co-conspirator, was by her side, stunning in a red jumpsuit, her braids cascading down her back. You sure about this? Maya whispered, her voice laced with excitement. One wrong move, and he could clock you. Brielle's lips curved. Let him try. I'm not here to hide. I'm here to watch him squirm. They found a spot near the bar, where Brielle could observe without being obvious. The gala was alive with chatter, deals being made, egos being stroked. Then she saw him, Dante, in a tailored tux, working the room with Kendra on his arm. She wore a sequined dress that screamed for attention, her laughter loud and forced. Dante's smile was strained, his eyes darting as he pitched to a group of investors. Look at him, Maya said, sipping her drink. Desperate as hell. You think he knows Elara Black's in the room? Brielle's gaze was cold. He doesn't. But he will. Dante passed within feet of her, his eyes sliding over her without recognition. He was too busy charming a venture capitalist, his voice smooth but frantic. ConnectSphere's poised for a comeback, he said. We just need the right partner to scale. The VC, a gray-haired man, raised an eyebrow. Heard you've got bugs. And your lead developer left. That true? Dante faltered, then recovered. We're restructuring. New team, new vision. I'm the constant. Brielle's grip tightened on her glass. The constant. She wanted to laugh. Maya nudged her. You good. I'm perfect, Brielle said, her voice low. He's digging his own grave. A gala organizer approached, a clipboard in hand. Ms. Black, she said discreetly. You're seated at the VIP table. And there's a founder requesting a meeting, Dante Coleman. Brielle's heart skipped, but her face stayed calm. Tell him Elara Black Ventures is reviewing pitches. He'll get an email. The organizer nodded and left. Maya grinned. You're playing him like a fiddle. Brielle raised her glass. This is just the prelude. Back in Oakland, Brielle and Maya huddled in Roy's office, the glow of their laptops illuminating their faces. The gala had been a test, and Dante had taken the bait. Now it was time to tighten the net. Brielle opened an email draft, her fingers poised. We're inviting him to pitch, she said. Atlanta, 1 month. $1 million competition for Elara Black Ventures' next investment. Maya leaned back, her eyes gleaming. You're evil, and I love it. You think he'll bite? He's desperate, Brielle said. He'll come running. She typed the email, her tone formal but enticing. Elara Black Ventures is hosting a pitch competition for innovative startups. ConnectSphere has been shortlisted. Prepare a 10-minute presentation for our Atlanta board. Prize, $1 million investment. She signed it Alara Black, CEO, and hit send. Maya clapped. This is gonna be better than reality TV. You gonna reveal yourself at the pitch. Brielle's smile was sharp. Not right away. I want him to sweat first. Let him think he's got a shot. Roy poked his head in, his expression wary. You two plotting World War III in here? Just a little justice, Brielle said, spinning her chair. Dante's getting an invite to pitch to Alara Black. He won't know it's me until it's too late. Roy shook his head, but his lips twitched. You're your mother's daughter, smart and ruthless. Just make sure you're doing this for you, not him. Brielle's gaze softened. It's for me, Uncle Roy, and every coder who's been erased. He nodded, leaving them to their scheming. Maya pulled up ConnectSphere's X account, where Dante had posted a cryptic teaser, big news coming. ConnectSphere's about to rise. #stay tuned. Look at this fool, Maya said, laughing. He's hyping a comeback he doesn't have. Brielle closed her laptop, her mind racing. Let him hype. The higher he climbs, the harder he falls. Dante's condo was a mess, takeout containers on the counter, his blazer slung over a chair. He sat at his desk, refreshing his email, his eyes bloodshot from late nights trying to patch ConnectSphere's bugs. Kendra was in the bedroom, filming another video, her voice grating. Y'all, my man's about to close a major deal. #CEO wife. The email from Alara Black Ventures popped up, and Dante's heart stopped. He read it twice, then shouted, Kendra, get in here. She sauntered in, her phone still recording. What's the vibe, babe? He turned his laptop, his grin wide. Alara Black Ventures. They're inviting us to pitch. $1 million, Kendra. This is our shot. She squealed, dropping her phone. Oh my God, we're back. I knew you'd pull through. Dante leaned back, his confidence surging. I'm gonna kill this pitch. Alara Black won't know what hit her. Kendra climbed onto his lap, her arms around his neck. You better. I'm already planning the victory party. We going viral, babe. He kissed her, but his mind was elsewhere. The email mentioned a board, which meant competition. He opened ConnectSphere's code, wincing at the mess. Without Brielle, it was a house of cards. I need a new developer, he muttered. Someone to clean this up before the pitch. Kendra waved a hand. Hire some nerd. You're the star. Just sell it like you always do. Dante nodded, but doubt gnawed at him. Alara Black was a mystery, and mysteries made him nervous. He Googled her, finding only vague articles and X posts. One caught his eye. Alara Black's investments are surgical. She picks winners no one sees coming. #TechPhantom. Phantom, he said aloud, a chill running through him. He shook it off, opening a new tab to prep his pitch. He didn't know Alara Black, but he knew how to win. Or so he thought. The Atlanta sun blazed through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Dante Coleman's midtown condo, casting sharp shadows across the hardwood floor. It was a week before the Alara Black Ventures pitch competition, and Dante was a man on edge. His navy blazer hung wrinkled over a chair, his desk littered with Red Bull cans and scribbled notes. ConnectSphere, the app he'd stolen from Brielle Carter, was limping along, its bugs multiplying faster than he could hire coders to fix them. The $1 million prize from Alara Black was his last hope, and he was determined to nail the pitch. Dante stood in front of a full-length mirror, practicing his opening lines. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, flashing his trademark grin, ConnectSphere isn't just an app, it's a revolution. I built this platform to empower black entrepreneurs, to bridge the gap between dreams and opportunities. He paused, adjusting his tie. The words sounded hollow without Brielle's code to back them up, but charm had carried him this far. It would have to carry him further. Kendra Ray sauntered in, her sequin crop top catching the light, her phone already recording for her 200,000 X followers. "Babe, you look like a CEO, she cooed, angling the camera. "Give me a soundbite for the fam." Dante sighed, turning to her. "Kendra, I'm rehearsing. This pitch is life or death." She pouted, lowering the phone. "And I'm building our brand. You win this, we go viral. I'm already planning the CEO wife aesthetic, private jets, rooftop parties. You gotta give the people something to hype." He rubbed his temples, the pressure mounting. "The people won't care if I don't get this money. The app's crashing daily, Kendra. I've got a new coder patching it, but it's a mess." Kendra waved a hand, her gold bangles clinking. "Then fake it till you make it. You're Dante Coleman, the face of black tech. Sell the dream, not the bugs." He forced a smile, her words echoing his own mantra. "You're right. I've got this." He turned back to the mirror, resuming his pitch. "ConnectSphere's algorithm is unmatched, connecting users with precision," he faltered, remembering Brielle's late nights perfecting that algorithm. Guilt flickered, but he shoved it down. She was gone. This was his show now. Kendra filmed him, narrating softly. "Y'all, my man's about to secure the bag. Hashtag ConnectSphere, hashtag power couple." She posted it, the likes rolling in. Dante didn't notice, his mind on the pitch. He'd hired a freelance coder to polish the demo, but the code still felt like a house of cards. Ilara Black was a mystery. Rumors said she was ruthless, her investments surgical. He couldn't afford a single misstep. "Run it again," Kendra said, settling onto the couch. "I'll be your investor. Hit me with the charm." Dante nodded, resetting. "ConnectSphere is my vision," he began, his voice smoother now. "I saw a gap in the market and built a platform to fill it. With your investment, we'll scale to millions of users, transforming black entrepreneurship." Kendra clapped, grinning. "That's my king. You're gonna kill it. Just don't mention that girl. What's her name? Keep it about you." Dante's jaw tightened. "Brielle's not a factor. She's gone." "Good," Kendra said, her eyes sharp. "Keep it that way. Now, let's talk outfits. I'm thinking red dress, power vibes. You." He barely heard her, his mind on the email from Ilara Black Ventures. "Prepare a 10-minute presentation. Our board expects excellence." Excellence. He'd deliver it, bugs and all. The day of the pitch arrived, and Atlanta's skyline gleamed under a cloudless sky. The Ilara Black Ventures competition was held in a sleek high-rise downtown, its 30th floor boardroom a fortress of glass and steel. The room buzzed with anticipation, 5 startup founders waiting in the lobby, each clutching laptops and dreams. Dante stood among them, his tailored suit crisp, his smile practiced. Kendra hovered nearby, her red dress as bold as promised, snapping selfies with hashtags like hashtag pitchday, hashtag ConnectSphere. Inside the boardroom, Brielle Carter, Ilara Black, sat at the head of a long table, her silver braids tucked into a sleek bun, her black blazer sharp enough to cut. Oversized sunglasses hid her eyes, and a subtle scarf masked half her face, a nod to the gala's mystique. She was flanked by 4 investors, all allies of Uncle Roy, each briefed to play their part. Maya Brooks sat to her right, her red jumpsuit a deliberate echo of Kendra's dress, her smirk barely contained. The room was a stage, and Brielle was the director. Maya leaned in, whispering, "You ready to watch him sweat?" Brielle's lips curved. "I've been ready for months." The first 2 pitches were solid, a fintech app and a VR gaming startup, both black-led. Brielle asked sharp questions, her voice low and commanding, cementing Ilara Black's reputation as a shark. Dante was third, and as his name was called, Brielle's pulse quickened. She adjusted her sunglasses, her face a mask of calm. Dante strode in, Kendra trailing like a shadow. He set up his laptop, his grin wide but his eyes nervous. "Good afternoon," he said, nodding to the board. "I'm Dante Coleman, founder of ConnectSphere. Today, I'll show you why we're the future of black entrepreneurship." Kendra took a seat in the back, her phone out, recording discreetly. Brielle watched her, a flicker of disdain crossing her mind. Maya caught her eye, mouthing, "Tacky." Dante's slides loaded, ConnectSphere's logo glowing on the screen. Brielle leaned back, her fingers steepled, ready to dissect every word. Dante launched into his pitch with the confidence of a man who'd talked his way out of worse. "ConnectSphere is my vision," he began, his voice smooth as silk. "I saw a gap in the market, a lack of connection for black entrepreneurs. So I built a platform that bridges that gap, pairing users with mentors, investors, and opportunities through a proprietary algorithm." Brielle's jaw tightened at my vision. She glanced at Maya, who rolled her eyes. Dante clicked to a demo, the app's interface sleek but shaky, patched together by his last-minute coder. "Our algorithm," he continued, "is unmatched, delivering matches with 95% accuracy. We've got 50,000 users and counting, with partnerships in the pipeline. Google, Salesforce, you name it." The room was silent, the investors' faces unreadable. Brielle scribbled a note, her pen sharp against the paper. Dante's partnerships were news to her, and she'd bet her fortune they were lies. He gestured to a graph, its upward curve suspiciously steep. "With your investment, we'll scale to 1 million users by next year, capturing 10% of the market." Kendra beamed from the back, her phone still recording. Dante's eyes darted to her, then back to the board. "I've poured my heart into this," he said, his tone earnest. "ConnectSphere isn't just a business, it's a legacy for our community." Brielle's pen paused. Legacy. The word stung, a twisted echo of her own dreams. She glanced at the investor to her left, a gray-haired woman named Dr. Ellis, who'd been briefed to ask the hard questions. Dr. Ellis raised a hand, her voice cool. "Mr. Coleman, your user growth is impressive, but we've heard reports of technical issues. Can you address those?" Dante's smile flickered, but he recovered. "Every startup has growing pains. We've got a top-tier team addressing the bugs. Our focus is on scaling, not sweating the small stuff." Brielle's lips twitched. Small stuff. She'd spent years perfecting that code, and he'd let it rot. She nodded to Dr. Ellis, signaling the next question. Dr. Ellis leaned forward, her glasses glinting. "One more question, Mr. Coleman. Your algorithm, it's the core of ConnectSphere, yes? Yet our research suggests it was developed by someone else, a lead coder who left your team. This code doesn't look like yours. Care to clarify?" The room went still, the air thick with tension. Dante froze, his grin slipping. Kendra's phone dipped, her eyes wide. Brielle's heart pounded, but her face remained stone, her sunglasses hiding the fire in her eyes. This was the moment she'd orchestrated, the crack in his facade. Dante cleared his throat, his hands clasping behind his back. "That's not entirely accurate," he said, his voice strained. "I led the development from the start. The original coder was part of my team, but I designed the algorithm's framework. It's my intellectual property." Brielle's pen snapped in her hand, the sound sharp in the silence. Maya coughed to cover a laugh. Dr. Ellis raised an eyebrow. "Your intellectual property? That's a bold claim. Our due diligence shows the algorithm's core was written by a Brielle Carter, who's no longer with your company. Why isn't she credited?" Dante's face flushed, his charm crumbling. "Brielle was a contributor, sure, but I was the visionary. She executed my ideas. Look, this is my company, my app. I don't see why we're dwelling on this." Brielle's blood boiled, but she stayed silent, her scarf hiding her clenched jaw. The other investors shifted, their skepticism palpable. Maya leaned in, whispering, "He's sinking. You wanna drop the hammer now?" Brielle shook her head slightly. "Not yet. Let him drown a little more." Dr. Ellis pressed on. "Mr. Coleman, you're asking for $1 million. We need transparency. If the algorithm isn't yours, what exactly are we investing in?" Dante's eyes darted, searching for an escape. "You're investing in me," he said, his voice rising. "My leadership, my connections, my ability to scale this to the moon. The code's just a tool. I'm the one who makes it work. Kendra nodded vigorously from the back, but the room was unmoved. Brielle scribbled another note, passing it to Dr. Ellis. Push harder. Dr. Ellis nodded, her voice icy. A tool you didn't create, by your own admission. That's a risk we can't ignore. Do you have documentation proving your ownership? Dante stammered, his hands sweating. We have internal records. I can provide them later. Look, let's focus on the future. ConnectSphere's potential. Enough, Brielle said, her voice cutting through the room like a blade. Every head turned, including Dante's. She stood, her scarf slipping slightly, her sunglasses still in place. We've heard enough, Mr. Coleman. Your pitch is compelling, but your credibility is not. Dante stared, confusion flickering. Ms. Black Eye. She raised a hand, silencing him. We'll review your materials. You're dismissed. He stood frozen, then gathered his laptop, his shoulders slumping. Kendra hurried to his side, her phone forgotten, her face pale. As they left, Brielle sat, her heart racing. The trap was set, and Dante was walking right into it. Tomorrow, she'd remove the mask. Tomorrow, he'd face the truth. The boardroom on the 30th floor of Atlanta's sleek high-rise was a crucible of silence, the air thick with the weight of Dr. Ellis's unanswered question about ConnectSphere's true creator. Dante Coleman stood at the front, his tailored suit now a flimsy armor against the investors' piercing gazes. His laptop screen flickered with ConnectSphere's logo, a mocking reminder of the dream he'd stolen. Kendra Ray sat in the back, her red dress a garish splash against the room's muted tones, her phone forgotten as panic crept into her eyes. At the head of the table, Brielle Carter, cloaked as a Lara Black, felt her pulse thunder. Her silver braids were tucked into a sleek bun, her black blazer sharp, her oversized sunglasses and scarf a shield that had held until this moment. The investors, allies of her Uncle Roy, sat poised, their faces unreadable. Maya Brooks, to her right, gripped a pen, her red jumpsuit a deliberate jab at Kendra's outfit, her smirk barely contained. This was the moment Brielle had orchestrated for months, the climax of her rebirth. Dante stammered, his charm crumbling under Dr. Ellis's question about Brielle's role. I led the vision, he repeated, his voice thin. The algorithm is mine. Brielle's heart burned, but her face was stone. She set down her broken pen, the snap echoing like a gunshot. Slowly, she stood, her movements deliberate, drawing every eye. She reached for her sunglasses, her fingers steady, and removed them, revealing eyes that blazed with fire and recognition. The scarf followed, slipping to the table, unveiling the face Dante had erased. Gasps rippled through the room. Maya's grin widened. That developer, Brielle said, her voice low but resonant, was me. Dante froze, his jaw slack, his eyes darting as if searching for an escape. Kendra's gasp was audible, her hand flying to her mouth. The investors leaned forward, sensing the drama's peak. Brielle stepped around the table, her heels clicking on the hardwood, her gaze locked on Dante. Brielle Carter, she said, her name a reclaiming. The woman who coded ConnectSphere's algorithm from scratch. The woman you called behind the scenes. The woman you erased. Dante's mouth opened, but no words came. He looked to Kendra, then back to Brielle, his confidence shattered. Brie. I didn't. Don't, she cut in, her voice a blade. You lied to this room, to the world, to me. You took my work, my dream, and slapped your name on it. But I'm not invisible anymore. Kendra stood, her voice shrill. This is a setup. You can't just... Sit down, Maya snapped, her tone venomous. You're not the star here. Kendra sank back, her face flushed. Brielle ignored her, circling Dante like a predator. You told TechCrunch you built ConnectSphere alone. You told investors I lacked poise. You told her, she nodded at Kendra, I was holding you back. But the truth is, you're nothing without my code. Dante found his voice, weak but defiant. Brielle, I gave you a platform. I sold the vision. You're a coder, not a leader. The room bristled. Dr. Ellis raised an eyebrow. Brielle laughed, sharp and cold. A coder? I'm the architect of everything you've got. And I'm Alara Black, the investor you thought you could charm. She gestured to the board. This is my room, my game. And you're out of moves. The boardroom was a vacuum, Dante's defeat a palpable force. He stood rooted, his laptop still open, ConnectSphere's demo frozen on a bugged screen. Brielle returned to her seat, her composure regal, her eyes never leaving him. The investors watched, their silence louder than any verdict. Kendra fidgeted, her phone now a useless prop, her influencer bravado gone. Maya leaned forward, her voice cutting. You got anything to say, Mr. Coleman? Or you just gonna stand there looking guilty? Dante's eyes darted to Brielle, then the investors. This isn't fair, he said, his voice cracking. I built the brand, the connections. Brielle, you left. You walked away. I had to keep going. Brielle's laugh was a whip. I left because you betrayed me. You took my work, my trust, and paraded it as yours. You didn't keep going, you stole. Dr. Ellis spoke, her tone icy. Mr. Coleman, you've made serious claims about ownership. Ms. Carter has evidence, code commits, emails, timestamps, proving she authored ConnectSphere's core. Do you have counter-evidence? Dante's hands shook. I have records. I can get them. Then why didn't you bring them? Brielle said, sliding a folder across the table. These are mine. Every line of code I wrote, dated before you even pitched. You want to challenge me? Go ahead. He stared at the folder, his face ashen. The investors exchanged glances, their decision clear. Kendra stood again, her voice desperate. This is a witch hunt. Dante's the face of ConnectSphere. You can't just... Enough, Brielle said, her voice final. You're not an investor, Ms. Ray. You're a spectator. Sit. Kendra sank down, tears welling. Dante looked at her, then back to Brielle, his defiance crumbling. Brielle, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Can we talk, just us? Brielle's eyes softened for a fleeting moment, then hardened. You don't get to apologize now. You made your choices. Live with them. The silence screamed, Dante's downfall complete. Brielle nodded to Maya, who stood, her presence commanding. We'll move to the next pitch, Maya said. Mr. Coleman, you're excused. Dante gathered his laptop, his movements mechanical, his face a mask of shock. Kendra scrambled to follow, her heels clacking as she grabbed her purse. The boardroom doors loomed, but Brielle's voice stopped them. One more thing, she said, standing again, her presence filling the room. I don't invest in fraud. She turned to the investors, her voice steady. ConnectSphere's pitch is disqualified. Its foundation is stolen, its leader untrustworthy. Alara Black Ventures backs integrity, not lies. Dr. Ellis nodded. Agreed. Disqualified. Dante's shoulders slumped, the word a death knell. He looked at Brielle, searching for mercy, but found only resolve. Brielle, please, he said, his voice barely a whisper. I need this. You needed me, she said, her tone even. You chose differently. Kendra grabbed his arm, her voice low but frantic. Let's go, Dante. She's just bitter. We'll find another investor. Brielle's lips twitched. Good luck with that. The tech world's small, Ms. Ray. Word travels. Kendra glared, but Dante pulled her toward the door. As they stepped into the hall, Brielle called after them, her voice clear. Oh, and Dante, don't ever call my work small stuff again. The doors closed, the sound final. Maya clapped, breaking the tension. Damn, girl. That was a masterclass in shade. Brielle exhaled, her hands trembling slightly. It wasn't shade. It was truth. Dr. Ellis smiled, a rare warmth in her eyes. "You handled that with grace, Ms. Carter. Or should I say, Ms. Black?" Brielle returned the smile. "Either works. I'm both now." The investors murmured approval, but Brielle's mind was already shifting to the next act. Dante was done, but her work was just beginning. In the hallway outside, Dante leaned against the wall, his breath ragged. Kendra paced, her phone out, scrolling X as if salvation lay in her notifications. "This is a disaster," she hissed. "She ambushed you. We need to spin this, post something." "Stop," Dante snapped, his voice raw. "No posts, no spins. She's got proof, Kendra. It's over." Kendra whirled, her eyes flashing. "Over? You're Dante Coleman. You don't quit. We'll sue her, say she faked the evidence." He laughed, bitter and broken. "You don't get it. Brielle's not bluffing. That code is hers. I knew it when I took it. I thought I could outrun it." Kendra's face twisted. "So you lied to me too? You said she was just some coder." "She was everything," he said, his voice hollow. "And I screwed it up." Footsteps approached, security, summoned by Maya. A guard, broad-shouldered and stern, spoke. "Mr. Coleman, Ms. Ray, you need to leave." Kendra bristled. "We're going, okay? No need to get rough." Dante didn't resist, his fight gone. He followed the guard to the elevator, Kendra trailing, her heels loud in the silence. As the doors closed, he caught a glimpse of the boardroom through the glass. Brielle, standing tall, surrounded by allies. She didn't look back. In the lobby, Kendra pulled out her phone, typing furiously. "I'm posting about this," she said. "She can't humiliate us like that." Dante grabbed her wrist, his grip firm. "Don't. You'll make it worse. Let it go." She yanked free, her eyes wet. "Let it go. What about my brand? Our life?" He shook his head, walking toward the exit. "Find a new brand, Kendra. I'm done." Outside, Atlanta's heat hit like a slap. Dante stood on the sidewalk, the city's pulse mocking his own. He'd chased the spotlight and lost everything. Brielle had won, not with revenge, but with truth. Back in the boardroom, the air shifted, the tension giving way to purpose. Brielle sat, her composure intact, as the next pitch began. A young black coder from South Atlanta, Jaden Miles, took the floor. His startup, CodeRoots, was a platform teaching kids in underserved communities to code through gamified lessons. His slides were simple, his voice earnest, his passion raw. "I grew up in Bankhead," Jaden said, his eyes bright. "No one taught me tech. I learned from YouTube and hustle. CodeRoots is for kids like me, giving them tools, not dreams." Brielle leaned forward, her heart stirring. Jaden's pitch was unpolished but real, his code solid, his vision clear. She saw herself in him, the coder who'd once dreamed big, before Dante's betrayal. When he finished, she asked, "What's your biggest challenge?" Jaden hesitated, then smiled. "Money. I've got the tech, the team, but no capital. That's why I'm here." She nodded, glancing at Maya, who gave a subtle thumbs up. The other investors asked questions, but Brielle's decision was made. When the pitches ended, she stood, her voice warm. "Mr. Miles, Elara Black Ventures is investing $1 million in CodeRoots. We believe in your vision, and you." Jaden's eyes widened, his hands shaking as he grinned. "Thank you, Ms. Black. I won't let you down." "You better not," she said, smiling. "Build something that lasts." The room applauded, the energy electric. Maya whispered, "You just changed that kid's life." Brielle's throat tightened. "That's why I'm here." As Jaden left, clutching his laptop like a lifeline, Brielle felt a weight lift. This wasn't about Dante anymore. It was about legacy, hers, Jaden's, and every dreamer who deserved a shot. 3 weeks later, Brielle sat in her new office in Oakland, a minimalist space with a view of the bay. SoulSphere had launched, hitting 1 million users in record time. X buzzed with praise. SoulSphere's changing the game for Black communities. Ilara Black's a genius. Hashtag SoulSphere. Her desk held a single photo, her parents, smiling, a reminder of her roots. Her silver braids were loose, her blazer off, her guard down for the first time in months. Maya burst in, holding a tablet. Girl, you see the numbers? We're viral. And Jaden's code roots just got a feature in Wired. You're out here making kings and queens. Brielle laughed, leaning back. We're just getting started. SoulSphere's Phase 2. Global expansion. You in. Maya grinned, sitting on the desk. You know I am. But let's talk real for a second. You good? After Dante, the pitch, all of it. Brielle's smile softened, her eyes on the bay. I'm better than good. He thought he broke me. All he did was light a fire. Maya nodded, her voice soft. You didn't just win, Brie. You built an empire. Brielle's phone buzzed, a text from Uncle Roy. Proud of you, baby girl. Your parents would be too. She smiled, her heart full. She opened her laptop, SoulSphere's dashboard glowing. 1 million users, 1 million stories, 1 million dreams. She typed a tweet as Ilara Black. We don't chase revenge. We build legacies. Hashtag SoulSphere. She hit send, the words rippling across the world. Atlanta was behind her, Dante a footnote. Brielle Carter, Ilara Black, was the future. And the future was now. I'm glad you made it to the end. I hope you enjoyed the story.